Two students from Boston recently had a chance to represent their city in a national competition at the Apollo Theater in New York City. They were taking part in the Poetry Slam held last month by America Scores. With its emphasis on poetry and soccer, the organization encourages students to be more literate, more healthy, and more engaged. Joining us are the finalists from the Henry Grew School in Hyde Park, Sarah Lawton, and from the James Hennigan School in Jamaica Plain, Stephen Moreno Jimenez. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you.
I want to start with Sarah Lawton. Talk about getting ready for this, the few days before the competition. What was that like?
Before we got to New York,
Right, before you got to New York.
It was very exciting, but it was also very shocking because I was in third grade and I always wanted to go to New York. And I was finally going and I got everything planned out. I knew what I was going to do. I knew what I was there for, and that was it.
All right, Stephen, talk about being there in the Apollo Theater. How did that feel?
It made me feel really nervous before the show started because I didn't know the people that I was performing in front of, and I don't know if they were gonna if it was a competition, because I used to think that the National Poetry Slam was a competition, and I didn't know if I would be good enough, so I was nervous.
So what happened once you're actually in the middle of your performance?
It felt amazing. I didn't feel nervous. I just went with the flow, and it was easier than I thought it would be.
Is that because of some reaction from the audience when you say going with the flow?
Yeah, because I saw my family, I saw people, they liked what we were doing, so it was easier then.
Sarah Lawton, explain to the audience, the people who haven't tried poetry slamming before, what do you have to do? This is not the same as just reciting a poem from memory and making sure you get the rhymes to sound like rhymes. You got to do more than that.
Yeah, so when you're at the Poetry Slam, not the local Poetry Slam, you're not just writing a poem about what you're thinking about, no, what you think about, right? Not just like, oh, okay, I want to rhyme, okay, I just wanted to make it sound good. It's actually what you really want to happen, what you think about, everything that you want to put into the poem that will make sense, not just rhyme.
Stephen, talk about the poem you performed.
My poem was about people making fun of a kid, and they've had that experience before it happened to me and to other kids. So I felt I needed to write about that, because I just write about how I feel, my experiences, and stuff like that.
You said this happened, your kids made fun of you in school, which happens to almost everybody, but imagine this did not feel very good when it was happening.
Yeah. So I write about it. I write about a kid that was being made fun of, and that I was his friend, that I helped him.
Sarah, what about your poem? What was yours about?
Mine was about my dreamland.
Your dreamland?
My dreamland.
And what's it like?
Imaginable. It's everything that I want to succeed in my life, something about what I want to do and what I plan on doing, right? And stuff that's not happening in my dreamland, that's happening in the real world. Like, one of the lines is, there's no such thing as a bully in my dreamland, and that I want to graduate from Northeastern University and become a full-time artist.
Okay, that's a tall order. Stephen, what about the things that you have in your poem? When you write this, what goes through your mind? Because you're not just saying, oh, poor me, I was made fun of, I was picked on. I guess there's more to the story than that, right?
Yeah. I remember experiences. I remember how what happened. I remember how other people would feel. I didn't just think about how I would feel. I didn't think about how I felt. I remember seeing other kids have like that when I was like in first grade. I remember seeing that happen, but I really couldn't do anything. But I remember from other people's experience, not only my own.
Does this make you feel differently if someone ever tries to make fun of you again, that maybe it wouldn't affect you the same way?
Well, it wouldn't exactly affect me the same way. It would make me feel sad, but it wouldn't actually affect me the same way as it did before. So, not really.
So talk about your impressions of New York City. Maybe this is not the first time you were there, but I guess you got to see a bit more at least.
Yes, lots more of New York.
And what did you think about it?
What I've thought about it was that it wasn't just the part that was like all Times Square, pretty lights, right? There's a more deeper part that me and Steven saw in New York, Harlem, different parts of New York that we could see, like downtown New York was mostly Times Square.
And Harlem is an important place. A lot of culture, great writers and performers coming out of Harlem
Yes.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what about the theater itself, the Apollo Theater?
The Apollo Theater was not what I expected. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It had lots of lights. The stage was huge, and I would love to go back there again.
Stephen, what about your impressions?
My impression was like the best stage ever. It was like the best stage I was at. It might be small, but it's better. It has more lights, curtains. It's more professional, and it has like stage crew. It has like a place where people can talk. It even has like a giant screen where that comes down and you can watch videos on it.
And of course, you get to see students from all around the country,
Yes.
your own age. What was that like?
Well, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, they weren't always exactly your age, but even though they weren't your age, they were sort of your age. But it was fun hanging around with them. Not just your friends that you normally have. It's friends that you can make all across the country of the United States. So.
Great. Well, thank you both very much. Stephen Moreno Jimenez and Sarah Lawton, Boston's finalists in the New York City National Poetry Slam sponsored by America Scores.